obvious question would be, what's the feeling like? Pretty amazing win on the weekend. It was a bit of a heart stopper. Yeah, what's the feeling like around the club this week?
Oh, everyone's just super pumped. It was such a fun day. As you say, it was a heart stopper. So the excitement as the siren went. I'm sure you've seen footage of the scenes straight after the siren. So and that feeling's still there. We're obviously now focusing on the next job, but we're still the whole club is really excited. And
what were the emotions going through your mind in that last quarter? Did you feel maybe the D's might get on top of you towards the end there, or you're pretty resilient and confident?
Yeah, look, we knew they'd come home really hard. They're known for their last quarters. They're the reigning premiers. They're a team that can score quite quickly, as we saw. But we also knew that we just had to stick to our process. We were obviously trying to slow it down a little bit, take a little bit of their momentum out. There was some nervous times, obviously, but you're going to get that in a semi-final that's got that much heat to it. There was a few moments that probably helped us just keep that little bit enough ahead that it didn't affect the outcome. So we were relieved when the siren went, but it was just sticking to the process through the last quarter.
Missing the first game, what were the first final? Was that hard to watch?
Oh, it was obviously hard to not be able to be out there with the girls, but I was also so excited to watch in the crowd as well. I mean, I was getting behind them just as much as everyone else in the crowd that day, and they played an incredible game. And yeah, it was obviously I would have loved to be out there on the field, but I was there, the biggest supporter off the field, and super proud to watch them get that final. So then I was obviously stoked to be able to be involved in the game on the weekend.
Did you have a little bit extra motivation that you finished? You missed that first final and back into the side. Did it give you that little bit of extra motivation to? Oh,
I don't know if I would have needed too much extra motivation to try and win a semi-final, but yeah, whether that was a part of it, I don't know. I hadn't yet been involved in a finals win, so that might have added a little bit more fire to the flame. But to be out there playing a semi-final against the reigning premiers with a crowd that was really behind us, I didn't need too much more motivation than that.
Just the last quarters, that's been a bit of a talking point during the week as well. I mean, you don't want to temper the fact that you've had a fantastic win, but has that also been a bit of a talking point for the teams just to try and close out those games?
As I'm sure Neen's spoke about it after the game as well, we have been looking at practicing those sorts of scenarios and things like that. But as I mentioned before, I mean, Melbourne are known for how they come home in games. We knew they had nothing to lose in that last quarter, and they really went for it. They played probably with a bit more freedom than they had for the quarters before that. But, we know that if we stick to our process, as I said before, there was still some really good decisions by some of the girls that just held them off that long enough to make sure that we can get the job done.
How are you going to prepare? I think the forecast is nearly 30 degrees on the weekend. Yeah, how do you try and prepare for that? That's a bit of a increase in temperature?
Yeah, it is, and it has. Obviously, we haven't had as many hot games this season as what we had in the past, playing over the summer months, obviously. But I mean, we're super confident with the overall fitness of our team, and we know that regardless as to what happens, we can run out a game quite strong. In terms of we'll just make sure we're hydrating properly and getting prepared best as we can for whatever the weather throws at us, but. No, we'll be ready to go.
Beautiful. Sorry, I probably hogged it a bit.
Okay, I just wanted to. What gives you guys the belief that you can win this week? Go all the way. Where's the belief come from for you girls?
So since the start of this pre-season, we've been really confident with the footy that we've been able to put together, and then throughout the season, obviously we had a bit of a stronger start, and we could see that how that comes together against teams can be really great, and we were confident with how that was. We had a little bit to work on in the middle sector there, but now we feel like we've put the pieces together, and we know that our best footy. I mean, we can take on any of the sides. I mean, we just took out the reigning premiers, so. We came in with that belief before we even faced off against Melbourne on the weekend, and so having that belief beforehand and then coming in after knocking out Melbourne, we just know that if we stick to our process and we stick to our roles and we play as a whole group, we know that we can take it up to anyone.
Has there been a bit of a theme during the week? I know some coaches like to have a bit of a theme. It might be something from a film or Do you know what I mean? Has there been any like little quirky narrative that's been worked into the week?
Not anything in particular, nothing quirky or no films or anything. It's just about us. I mean, the closeness of this group at the moment is incredible, and so it's just about being together, to keep playing together. And you know, we all know that there's ebbs and flows through games of footy, especially finals when there's a lot of heat behind it, but it's just about sticking together through those moments and playing for each other, and the love of this group at the moment. That's all we want to do, is just play our role and do what we can for all the players and coaches alongside us.
You're a young club. Is there a sense of like, why not us? Like, there's nothing holding you back. You go there with nothing to lose attitude. Is that the case?
I mean, yeah. Well, there is still we're probably more similar to what like a Sydney may have been feeling, like they had nothing to lose because they came from one win last year or no wins last year to finals this year. So we're not on that sort of path as to nothing to lose, because we feel like we've worked our way into this spot. We definitely have that. You know, there's not the same expectation on us that there would be on some of those teams that have been up there for the past few years, but it's definitely not a complete freedom, because we know that we have worked hard and we belong here. So it's not the complete nothing to lose, but we've got that bit of freedom because we believe in our structure, we believe in our roles, and we know that if we can put it together, we can take it up to anyone.
So there is that sense of you actually belong on the big stage. You're not the new kids on the block sort of thing. You feel that amongst the team you actually belong.
Yeah, we feel we belong, 100%. Yeah, I mean, you know, we played a pretty horrible game last year to be knocked out of the elimination final against North Melbourne, where we really didn't put up a fight at all, and we were frustrated at that because we thought we were better than what we gave them last year. And then the work that we've put in the off season and the way that we've come into this season, we know how much better we are than the team that played that day, than the game that we put together that day. And so we know that, you know, putting those pieces together, that we would be one of the teams at the end here. So we had that confidence coming into the start of the year, and we're happy that we've been able to get to where we feel like we belong.
Did it take a while to get over that loss?
Yeah, that one hurt, and I think it more so hurt because, as I said, we just didn't play the game that we knew that we could play. So even if we sort of played a stronger game and could see promise from that, then it would have still obviously stung. But I think it was more, we were really disappointed with what we put together after what we felt like was a season that we continued to build. So yeah, that one's, you know, it's past now, but it was a frustrating one. But it also probably egged us on to make sure that that doesn't happen again. So
thought about that. Something you had to go through to get to where you are now, perhaps.
Yeah, possibly. And you don't know what sort of building blocks work throughout the off season. But I know that was a bit of a fire to work really hard and make sure that there are things in place that we don't put ourselves in that position again.
Just one more from me. Is there anyone in in the men's side who obviously won a premiership recently? Is anyone coming to the club to talk to the team about, you know, what it takes and the mental capacity that you need to sort of concentrate on? Anyone that's given you girls the motivation? Yeah,
so we haven't had like an official, this player's coming in to talk to you all today, or, you know, I don't know whether there's anything like that going to be happening. But I mean, a lot of the boys, the younger boys, have all started pre-season again, and a few of the older players, more experienced players, are around the club a fair bit. So at the moment, I mean, we've got Gary Rowan as a part of our coaching staff, and so he's been really great. I just going through the club yesterday, had Blitzarves and Danger both come up and have a good chat. So they've been right around the girls and been getting around and having good chats like that. So as to whether there's going to be anything official of the pep talk, I'm not sure. But the way that the two groups sort of meld together between the in the club, there's those sorts of conversations going on, which are always really great.
It might be asking you for advice.
Yeah, really good. I mean, we can Gary's involvement with us, his passion and his knowledge, and the way that he's been helping out the forwards, obviously, and that's been really, really helpful for us. And then game day, he's got some, probably words of wisdom at the quarter time breaks to be able to help us as to, whatever the opposition may be throwing us at the time. And then, it's actually been fantastic hearing from the boys throughout the week. Not only their excitement and the way they're getting around the group, but just in general in terms of, going through as footballers from here and how to just continue to step forward together as a group. So that's been really great. But the whole club as a whole, the men's players, but then the staff and the marketing crew and literally everyone I walked past yesterday, you can feel and hear the buzz, which is exciting, and all the girls will be feeling that at the moment.